Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Bounty Hunter stream for Gems of War. So of course, we got Bounty Hunter going on this week, and if I'm not mistaken, new faction next week, shiny. But aside from that, new faction next week and then Vault event after that. But anyways, as far as right now, we have of course the new Zhul'Kari bounty troop. This is particularly relevant that it is indeed Zhul'Kari, because we are actually going to get 20 stars out of this. So if we go by up to the tiers, there's basically two, or technically three ways to do Bounty Hunter. Either don't spend anything on it and just do the free battles, which if you're a newer player is generally going to be the way you go, as well as for people who might be tight on gems at a given moment. The other one is buy to tier 5, upgrade it to legendary, and then use a blue orb in order to get it maxed. And the third method, and the one that costs the most amount of gems, but it saves you one blue orb, is just simply go and get the final tier there. And that'll be enough to go max out the troop all the way to Mythic, which is what we're going for right now, because we specifically need to upgrade it to Mythic so that we can go and get the stun and go get our 20 star Zhul'Kari. This is pretty relevant because the permanent magic bonus that I wound up giving, of course, related to 5-star, 10-star, and 20-star kingdoms. And that should be it. If we go check Zhul'Kari right here, that should be the power level 20 for the 20th star. And with that, we now have a permanent +1 magic bonus compared to before. So that's pretty nice. But there we go. All has been done. Hey, we even have the challenges done for this place. Yep, another extra permanent +1 magic. Good to go. Actually, you can see it specifically off of this right here, I guess, technically. Right there. +3 kingdom skill bonus. We usually get the first one at 5, the second one at 10, the third one at 20, and eventually at some point in the future we will get a fourth one at 30, though we are far away from that on any kingdom. I think the highest any kingdom currently is 25, so it's still going to be like at least a year or two before you see the first 30, might even be longer than that. But anyways, we got the new bounty troop mech, so let's go build our team. Bounty teams tend to be pretty standard, since it just tends to be whatever the meta is with one single troop change. For example, we take this out. We double check what the bounty troop is named because I completely forget what it is named. The new one that we just upgraded. We were literally on that screen, I already forget its name. Oh, it's just called Devourer. We didn't already have a troop that's called Devourer. That's kind of funny. Also, you would kind of hope that a thing better at devouring would be called the Devourer. But, yeah, just drain some mana from an enemy and there's a 4% chance it will devour them for each skull on the board. Meaning, realistically, on average, it's going to be hitting for around a 24% chance to devour, assuming there's 5 skulls on the board. However, if there's a really rare situation, let's say there's like 10 skulls on the board, it's 44% chance that it will end up devouring, which is still relatively low. It's almost a mini web spinner, though, which is kind of funny. It has both snare and stalker, meaning that it will do double damage to everything that does not have immune to web. Kind of like how web spinner does triple damage to everything that isn't immune to web. This is kind of the same premise, except obviously way weaker, and that is 2 times damage instead of 3 times damage. This could potentially be decent for skull spam related builds into the future, as this could be a pretty viable first slot once they become a bit more viable. However, in the current state of Bounty Hunter running 4 times Bounty Hunter troop, there isn't really a perfect 4 times skull related team yet. However, this is definitely a step in the right direction, as most things will take double damage from it, while also having something that boosts ratios off of skulls. And if it gets to Devour, its stats are just going to go up like crazy. And that Devourer stats do end up getting multiplied by the web double damage as well. So if it ends up devouring something and getting like 150 attack, well then it's going to be doing 300 damage per skull. So this definitely has potential into the future. However, at this current moment in time, I wouldn't really say it's that useful. So we're going to be sticking with Ogress, Tigraki Warrior, Corpse Mirror, and just Devour kind of there to be there. Though, given that it does use purple, we actually will be able to occasionally cast it in order to get some value, if nothing else. But for the most part, obviously, the main goal is to spam Tigraki until we win, with Corpse Mirror kind of doing some backup, Ogress doing the mana accumulation, and this thing kind of being here, though maybe it'll get a Devour on occasion. If nothing else, it'll mana drain some, as the mana drain is guaranteed, even though the Devour isn't. Oddly enough, it does absolutely 0 damage. This is one of those weird Devourers where it actually doesn't do anything at all if it doesn't get Devour, at least in the sense of damage-wise, because it actually does 0 total damage. It'll insta-kill if it gets Devour, but since it has mana drain instead of like a damage poke, since it has no damage poke, it doesn't get anything down if it ends up missing that Devourer other than the mana drain itself. But yeah, that's what we're rolling for the bounty event. Pretty standard kind of bounty team, only difference being Devourers in the back. Nothing surprising there. I don't think I mentioned it on the Monday video, but bounty meta doesn't really change. We need something like really, really strong to really change things up. But it's pretty much just whatever most viable 4 times bounty you can end up forming off of what am I in this tab? But off of Tagraki Warrior. Anyways, let's go do some bounty. Not sure why I went all the way out of that menu. I think I was checking my medals, and in doing so, I still didn't check what my medals were. Okay, that's fine. 20% into a bunch of magic. That is perfectly fine. But anyways, hello everyone! Hope all of you have been doing well. Let me go all the way, scroll back up. Hello Isabel! Hello NASA! Ho Han! Hello Daddy Shark! Hello Mr. Jesse! Hello everyone else! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people go 1 tier short and then use a blue orb. I used to do that a lot in the past, and I feel like I should start probably doing it again soon. The reason I haven't is just so we can, you know, kind of accumulate more orbs in case we start getting more mythics. But I did that preemptively for when we were knowing there was going to be a double mythic. And now that we saw that double mythic and none of them even really required that many orbs, like, you know, they didn't require any powers at all, I might start using blue orbs for it. Because it saves you 400 gems basically once every 6 weeks, so it's an okay conversion rate to convert 1 single blue orb into 400 gems. Because you're not really getting much else out of it other than like a few more sigils. Actually, that's not true. There is one slight benefit to going to tier 6, which we probably will be doing this weekend. If you buy up to tier 6 and you do every bounty battle, at least on PC Mobile, this might be different for other platforms, but I'm pretty sure it's for every platform. But tier 6 is enough to make leaderboard. Tier 5 is not. So if you do a perfect tier 6, as in you do 4 times bounty the entire time for 30 times multiplier to get the max amount of points, always moving forward and taking the best room you possibly can, you will end up getting a leaderboard. It'll be an ultra multi-way tie, but you will indeed make leaderboard. And at least in the current state of the game, on PC Mobile. I'm pretty sure it's all platforms, given that PC Mobile is the most active. But it is enough for leaderboard, which that's relevant because that's an extra 75 gems and an orb. So technically that 400 gem cost is more like a 325 gem cost, plus you're getting a random orb. And while a random orb isn't necessarily worth the 325 gems, it's still a factor, because of course it can be a blue orb, and, you know, getting your blue orb back kind of just made it worth it. Or getting an extra blue orb, I should say, on top of it. Yeah, it should work on every platform, because PC Mobile is the most active one. So generally when referring to a leaderboard, PC Mobile one should be the most competitive, realistically, compared to most other platforms. At least for most events. There could be some outlier events, but generally speaking, the one on PC Mobile leaderboard should be the hardest to get onto. Just because it has the biggest player base, since it's all the PC players and all the mobile players. Whereas all the consoles are just the individual consoles, so the player base is lower. Do I try for a Devour chance? What's our Devour rate right now? We'd have a 40% chance to Devour. And guess what? It did not Devour! Well, that's going to be a reoccurring theme probably this entire stream. Is hoping that thing devours and then get extreme disappointment when it doesn't for the 20th time in a row. Which is why we're not building around that troop, by the way. It's just too luck-based. I feel like there will be a time where a skull-based team will, just because of its double damage that it has to basically everything, or almost everything. However, we still need a few more good skull options before this thing's really going to come out as a viable option for Bounty Hunter. They'll give it like a year. This thing might actually be like the new Tagraki into the future. But right now, there's just not enough synergy to make it work. But it could have potentially eventually be the new Tagraki. It's going to take some time though. It's definitely not the new Tagraki yet, that's for sure. It's mostly because of the lack of synergies. Once that's the synergies, it itself is a good troop. Mostly because of this combo right here. And the fact that obviously it's bounty. But, web everything into doing double damage to the things you just webbed. That's double damage to nearly everything in the game. And in the context of Bounty Hunter, it might be literally everything. Very few things have immune to web. Unless they have Impervious. But, like, as far as web specifically, almost nothing has immune to it. Unless they have Impervious. There is an immunity for it, but so few troops have it. It's like less than a dozen or something. Actually, it might be a little bit more because I believe the Dark Elves have it too. But now counting Impervious, I think only like 30-ish troops specifically have immune to web out of over 1,000. Not counting Impervious, of course. You're 20 battles in, just realized you had the wrong banner. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. Especially if you're switching up the bounty troop every single week, because it'll be set to whatever you previously used. So you saw we didn't really have to set much of our team because it was pretty much all set because, you know, it was just TJTimebomb team. And obviously we're just going to keep using TJTimebomb team. So we only had to change out the bounty captain. However, you do occasionally change up the banner depending on what the bounty captain is. In this particular instance, we didn't really need to. But there are some times when the ability is actually good enough where you could justify changing up your banner some. I'm not mistaken, we're on +2 green, +2 red, simply because it has the best overall value of any banner. For whatever reason, has a whole extra +1. The absolute best banner for us would probably be a +2 red, +1 brown. But, I don't know, I don't really feel like we need it compared to having just a little bit extra. Because the +2 green kind of does the +1 brown aspect. Because the first thing that's getting that mana is going to be our first slot. So if we're in a situation where it needs the mana, we technically get more value from the green than we do from the brown. The main reasoning behind the brown, though, is it leaks into TJTimebomb. So you can get some extra mana into him. And obviously TJTimebomb is the most important thing on this team to cast. As he is quite literally the entire win condition. Though even if he dies, we can still win, obviously. But as far as like speed is concerned, he is basically like 70% of this team's speed. As only one single unit. Come on, give us one Devourer. I want to see it. There we go. The Devourer actually got a Devourer. That's amazing. Also, we got it all for like 30% as well. Though we're not going to bother checking the percents. We're just going to hope it does that at any given time. You can guesstimate it based on how many skulls. Like, there's 7 skulls. That's, what, 28? So it's 32%. So it's like a 1 in 3 chance. Like right here, it's right about a 1 in 3 chance based on this board. Approximately. So it doesn't really matter what the percent is if it fails. It could be 99%. Doesn't matter if it didn't do it. Let's see. I'll throw that down. Oh yeah, purple green set. Oh no. I wish there was more viable purple green, specifically troops. I know there's been some instances where we needed that to like fill our gap in our team, particularly purple. I feel like there's a lack of good purple bounty troops. This one's a pretty good purple bounty troop, but it doesn't fit this kind of team, unfortunately. Though regardless, it would keep getting replaced by bounty captain. I don't know. I honestly, in this particular team, I wish we had a replacement for Ogress, oddly enough. Even though Ogress is probably the second strongest bounty troop in the game, only behind that of TJTimebomb. I don't know. I kind of want a damage source purple that can also mana accumulate. We don't really have a proper way of doing that. All the ones either do one or the other. They don't really do both that effectively. Because Ogress is really good at mana accumulating, but its damage is very underwhelming. Because the only damage it does is whatever explodes on skulls. Which once we're reaching this point and later is basically 0 damage. But we need like a purple something color troop that has true damage. That also has mana accumulation. That's a lot to ask for from a bounty troop. That's like what this team needs. Because Corpse Smear is kind of fine. The only problem is it is forced to have to hit first slot. And obviously TJTimebomb's the entire meta. So all you'd really need is like a purple troop that fits that meta then to replace Ogress with. Not that Ogress is bad, it just it could be better. Going for that Devour chance. No, we failed. It's actually more likely we'll fail every single time than actually succeed. Because realistic, even with a really good board, it's only going to be like a high 30, mid 40% chance of devouring. Kill that out before it does any disease. Yeah, Riftlinks with like even 2 explosions would have been amazing. I still use Rift Links on occasion instead of Corpse Mirror. It's very situational. It depends if you need to move the enemy team or not. If you're in a situation where it would be beneficial to do so, it could actually be worth using. It's also good for dealing with Val Ravens, which is something that Corpse Mirror specifically cannot do, since it only hits first slot. So unless the Val Raven's in the first slot, it kind of struggles against it. But that's what you have Tagraki for. Tagraki normally handles that. And it would kill it out if he would ever stop doing moves. There we go. Also, I really hope there's not a barrier option on the final battle. It's going to be very annoying. We'll find out in 6 battles. Well, technically 7. They'll complete out 6. The 7th one will be the actual one that tells us. Let's see. I'll take that over. Yeah, Bounty is definitely a bit of a weird event in this game. It's not a bad one. Its loot is what's like mostly weird about it. Because it's basically either really good or really bad. There's almost no in between. You either like barely make out or get like no profit from the event, or you make out like a bandit and just hit all the perfect RNG for all the rolls. Because out of every single area where you get loot, I'd probably say Bounty Hunter is one of the most luck beast locations relative to how much you have to pay into it. However, one of its most noteworthy aspects, even though it does take a little bit of gems to complete it out, 2 major orbs at the end. It is the only event in the game where you can get 2 major orbs like that, guaranteed, without needing to make a leaderboard. Which is probably the most relevant aspect about it. Because if you're playing free-to-play, but then again, I don't know, I don't buy gems either. And we can still make leaderboards. Because I was going to say, free-to-play players can make leaderboards, but yeah, actually you could. Because technically, almost all of our gems are accumulated by free methods. Because I think we get almost none by other means. So, I guess in that regard, we kind of are free-to-play. At least when it comes to our gem total. But, though we are all the way in endgame, so we get a lot from Tribute. But, that was the point I was trying to make. I was trying to get to a point somewhere here. But, it's a consistent way to convert your gems into orbs. Is basically what I'm saying. Without having to worry about actually making a leaderboard. You just simply go and get to the score and then boom, you're good to go. I wish I had a mana accumulator now. I'm just going to try devouring him. Oh, you have immune to mana drain. I was like, wait, why did it show immune to you? You don't have immune to devour. But I forgot he is immune to mana drain. I was going to say, I know for sure you don't have immune to devour. But it's the Dark Ancestry mana drain immunity that got it. There's also that one trait I was talking about with the Dark Elves that have immune to web. Which is weird. Why on earth did they put the immune to web troops in the set where you have a web mechanic? That's even less of a reason to use this thing this week, gosh. They actually added, I didn't even notice that till just now. But there's some anti-web troops within the mix. There's not too many. Most of them reside in Zhul'Kari. Because that's where the main web mechanics are. Particularly Weaver. Which is in Soulforge this week. Make sure to get it. Oh, it's also in Soulforge next week. We're not sure how much longer than that, though. But it's going to be around for a while. So if you don't get it by the end of this week, it's not too big a deal. Though I'd still advise getting it as soon as possible. Because we don't know a official end date for it yet. Hopefully it'll be after the Bounty Hunter. So hopefully it'll be like November 5th. Or sorry, 7th for the official end date. Because I believe that's the Monday after Bounty Hunter. We do not have confirmation on that yet, though. We'll let you guys know whenever we do. Unless they mentioned on the forum today. I didn't actually check the Gems of War forum. Though I did check the Puzzle Quest 3 forum. We finally get a patch next week. I couldn't translate what time it was. I didn't bother putting it into Google. But it's either on Monday or Tuesday. I think it's on Tuesday. But the event system will be done on will be gone on Monday just because they're setting up for the patch because they're reworking it, as well as whatever else they're doing. Hopefully they post a changelog ahead of time. Because I want to read it all. Should be interesting. Still curious to see where the direction they go with. I still feel like the game has a lot of potential. It's in a really horrible state right now. But it has so much untapped potential. I just hope they get it to that point. I still feel like Gems of War is going to be the better game, though, between the two of them. Let's see. Throw that down. I'm not sure. A lot of games are starting to go 3D. I'm not sure if it's because Uni is so good for doing 3D. Or if every developer just feels like doing it. I'm not sure. Because even Darkest Dungeon 2 that we're going to be doing next week, they even shifted to 3D instead of a 2D art style for Darkest Dungeon 2. Wonder how much different that art style will actually look. Because I don't think we've seen like any in-game screenshots anywhere yet, or at least I haven't. I'm not sure if they're out there somewhere. But be interesting to see what it looks like in 3D. Pretty sure the art style is still kind of the same, just 3D-ized. So it's a little bit easier to animate. Because that's one nice thing about 3D, if nothing else. Well, you have to go through all the rigging and everything. It's a lot easier if you're going to be using a lot of different animations. Let's see, let's take that over. Yeah, one more and then we'll figure out what the final room is. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Grab so far to Kaki. Oh, someone mentioned what it was. I didn't see what it was, though. I, like, partially read it. Always, like, finding out when we see it. Oh, no, I don't mind the bounty events. The biggest issue with bounty events is how they handle the second half of bounty. Like, what we're currently doing right now, where the battle keeps changing and you keep going through like that I don't mind as much. The biggest issue is you spend a lot of time just doing the final battle. Like, you spend like 3/4 of your time doing bounty, literally on the exact same fight over and over again, which is a weird way of having it structured. I'm still kind of surprised they haven't changed that aspect of it. But no, Bounty Hunter itself I don't mind too much, like the reward system and everything else related to it. I wish they would make the rewards just a little better, just because they're really luck-based rewards, or at least had some more non-luck-based ones. Oh wait, nice. This is actually a pretty easy battle, isn't it? Oh wow, we got a really easy battle. This gang's good in Arena, but not that good outside of it. Oh, this is a super easy final battle. Nice. Yeah, nothing's intimidating on that. We do have some agiles though, but we're not going to be killing too often with skulls. It's only 20%. Because obviously we're mostly killing with Tikaraki. Okay, let's go throw this down. I've got to bother taking skull. We actually generally don't want to take skull just because of this Tikaraki's boost ratio based on their armor. Because if we end up getting rid of their armor, he does less damage since the boost ratio is based on it. So there's actually really little need to take skulls. And also, I don't think any bounty troop has that like 50% chance to do true damage on skull poke. And even if they did, I'm not sure it would be viable enough to even replace Ogress with. Once you get Zhul'Kari, you stop bounties completely. Really? Interesting. I guess it would save a lot of gems though, because we spent what, 1,110 gems. So there's 1,110 gems you could be using on anything else. And especially now that Nomapaloozas give a lot of orbs and everything. There's definitely a justification to skip on Bounty Hunter these days. Or at least do the free battles if nothing else, obviously. Because you'd never want to fully skip on it. You would just not buy into the tiers. But I don't know. You still need the tiers to upgrade stuff. Like, this one's really relevant because you get Zhul'Kari to 20 star. And if you don't buy up this event to at least minimum tier 5 and use a blue orb, you cannot get Zhul'Kari to 20 star right now. You'd have to wait like a couple months. And even then, you'd probably have to wait till for a Zhul'Kari event so you can event key for the troop. And even then, you're going to spend so many event keys that you're literally going to burn more event key value than the amount of gems it would even cost it to just do it now. So, yeah, just at least in this particular instance, it's just worth maxing. If nothing else, it's probably the troop max that's probably the most useful thing most of these times. Like, even more so than the fact that we're going to be getting 2 major orbs and everything else. The main reason we're even doing is almost more so just to max the troop. Because I know sometime in the past, like about a year and a half ago, I like decided not to max some of them. And it was just so annoying to try to get them to max by natural means that I just get everything to max every single event just to make sure that we have it at level 20 for Kingdom Star purposes. And not only does that immediately give us extra trippy chance or whatever it is that we'll end up giving, but it makes it so we don't have to get them later through some other weird mean like event keys or something else. Unfortunately, we poked them there. Though I don't think Tikaraki would have been enough damage even if we didn't poke. You max metal the new troop. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. It's not really relevant, but I do it for every bounty troop. Thanks for reminding me. I actually completely forgot to do that. Might as well. I don't think it's going to make any difference, especially since it's just magic does literally nothing on it. That will keep it a little bit alive, though that hasn't been a factor probably ever. And it gains 1 extra attack. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I actually haven't meddled it yet. It is a rare, right? Yeah, it does. Its bounty trip has to be a rare. Let's see. So we'll do a rare. Into 2 rares. Into an ultra rare. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I completely forgot. It's not that relevant too, but I do like doing it for all the bounties. If there are any rares to prioritize upgrading, bounty troops are definitely among some of the higher ones. Especially whatever bounty troops you actually plan on using for a bounty event. Particularly Zhul'Kari. Zhul'Kari should probably be like the first rare you upgrade. Unless you're using some different one for your team in early game. Yeah, there we go. We got Devour upgraded. I'm pretty sure it's going to make no difference in a single one of these battles, but just to have it done. It's low enough rarity. It's always good to kind of max those commons and rares. Also, it should count as a spider. And also it counts as a beast, so whenever we get lycanthropied. But if I'm not mistaken, that one random summon that summons a random spider, assuming they coded it and remembered to add it to the drop table, this should count as a spider for the random summon of spiders. This is only relevant for 1 troop in the entire game. However, it is a factor. The fact that it counts as a beast is more relevant, though. There's a lot more ways to get a random beast than there is to get a random spider. But a spider is one of those typings within the game that is not actually a typing that shows up on the page right here, but it is a invisible typing. So even though it doesn't say it here, it counts as a spider, or should. We don't actually know. We'd have to test it. We'd have to see if that one thing eventually summons it if we try it like 50 times. Which obviously we're not going to bother testing. That'd be very boring. But, or if we would, we'd test it off stream, though. I'm probably not going to bother testing at all. But, yeah, there is a thing that can summon it. There's 2 invisible typings currently within the game, if I'm not mistaken. There's the null typing, which are all those troops that do like that multiple damage and then have a chance of missing. And then there's the spider typing, which includes, you know, what you'd expect, spider-looking things. It's just we never know if they actually update the drop table or not for either of those 2 things. Because the cards themselves do not actually display that typing on them, even though they have that typing. Which I hope they find some kind of workaround for that at some point. Because there's no way to know what, like, random spider summon will actually do sometimes. These are some things that might look like a spider, like, oh, this scorpion kind of looks like a spider. That one definitely wouldn't be, though. But there's, like, some things that definitely, like, seem like it might be a spider. And it's like, oh, wait, this doesn't actually summon it. Also, can we get a Devourer? I think we've gotten 1 this entire time. And I'm actually surprised we even got that one. I'd be very surprised if we see more than 3 total this entire time. Actually, I am so surprised. I will hand out a redeem code the next time we get a Devourer. How about that? If this thing gets a Devourer, we will hand out a redeem code. Not every time, but the next time it does one, we will hand out a code for its Devourer. We'll put the code onto RNG. Could be next battle, could be 1,000 battles from now. No, it's not going to take that long, though. Realistically, he's going to have like a 20-something% chance each time. So it should only technically take 4 casts. But we don't tend to cast it too often unless we really need to. Go, kill Valraven. Oh, of course it wouldn't. My confidence in its Devour rate is very low. It's bound to eventually, though. You had like 4 to 5 Devourers. Yeah, we've only seen 1 so far. And we'll have code on the second one. Nope, it still doesn't want to. Sure is trying to. Keeps failing though. I was at pretty high amount of skulls on the board too, and it was still failing. It doesn't gain that much of a benefit per skull. I'm actually kind of surprised it's not at least 5%. Like 5% base into 5% increase. 4% just seems like a really weird number for it. Because 5% wouldn't have made it broken. Let's say there's 10 skulls on the board, that's a 55% chance to devour. That's basically middle of the pack. I guess for a rare, that would be a bit high. But compared to devour troops that aren't completely useless, that's not a particularly high devour rate. Still no devour. I'm trying. He just does not want to devour anything. I should have taken that red first. Whoops, could have already had full mana. Had to waste a turn. Not too big a deal though. I'm gonna do that one because I want Corpse Mirror to kill the other one. Ideally. Actually, it does make sense to do it the other way around because I want the extra mana for Corpse Mirror to go into the thing. I'll give you a chance. Come on, get that Devourer. Still doesn't want it. Come on, that was a like 40-ish% chance to Devour and it still misses. How on earth do you manage that? You had one just now, nice. Oh, so hello Imperial, hello Tyrion, hello Gemgodias, hello Vespeni, hello Gareth. How do people get 999,000 score if you win all the battles? You're way less than this on the 30 times multiplier. You can buy more sigils. You can just keep buying more and more sigils. There's no limit to how many sigils you can end up buying. The final pack in the shop can be bought an infinite number of times. It's not just a one buy and done. You can get as many times as you want. It's mostly just for making a leaderboard though. You wouldn't do it for really any other reason. The only final tier that is technically worth mass buying, though you need to have a gigantic reserve of gems for it to be viable, is Tower of Doom. And not because the leaderboard is good, but because there's literally no other way to get those scrolls. So some people that have way more gems than they know what to do with due to how rare it is to get those scrolls will throw down a lot. It's why our guild is currently scouted to, what, like 100 something? And some guilds are scouted probably to like 500. But we're scouted all the way to floor 120 because there's some people who mass bought it in order to get the scrolls. Because there's currently no other way to get them. I'm waiting until they add a new way of getting them though before I ever do that. And then once that new method is in, if it's still better to do it for Tower of Doom, then maybe we'll do it through Tower of Doom. But I'm pretty sure whatever method they eventually add to be able to get those as an alternative means is going to be better than mass doing it through Tower of Doom. So we haven't been. Not to mention it gets pretty pricey. I think it's like 133 gems per scroll. So to max out one single weapon is, what, you need like 55, I think? So whatever 55 times 133 is. So I believe the cost for one single Doom weapon, if you were to mass buy the final tier. Which is a very inefficient use of gems, unless you have a really high surplus of them. But yeah, I believe every leaderboard in Gems of War lets you infinite buy, doesn't it? Except for Guild Wars, because Guild Wars is more of a skill-based location. So you get a set amount of battles and you can't buy more. But every other event you can buy basically infinite battles for with gems. Obviously most people don't, because it's not worth doing so unless you really want to make a certain leaderboard position. But it is an aspect. There are a couple of them that are good though, because some of them give like troop copies of useful troops. Some of them, like Tower of Doom, gives resources that aren't accumulated through some other means. But generally, if you're buying that deep, you're doing it for leaderboard. There's really only two events where some people will spend like a ridiculous amount of gems and not necessarily go for leaderboard. And that is to max out a hero class. That's a really inefficient use of gems. And Tower of Doom. Which is also a somewhat inefficient use of gems, however, it does... it gets those really elusive scrolls, if nothing else. But most events, you don't really need to go further than like tier 3, tier 4. Like, I don't think I've bought in further than tier 3 in an event for a very, very long time. Not counting Tower of Doom, because you need to buy to tier 4 for the weapon. But for things like board events, for example, I always buy just like tier 2 or tier 3. If everyone in your guild buys to tier 3, you can get tier 2. You can get the ward event done almost every single time, based on how they have the scoring system set up. So unless you're going for leaderboard, you don't really need to go too crazy with it. I kind of want to kill that out, however, I'm just going to wait it out. Also, can we get a Devourer, please? We haven't seen a Devourer for like 20 minutes. We'll hand out a code when we finally get the Devourer. It will happen eventually. I'm doubtful we will get 0 more Devourers. It's only a matter of time before it eventually gets another one. Don't you, Agile? What are you doing? Yeah, we're almost halfway done with bounty. Or at least as far as the main rewards are concerned. We are going for leaderboard though, because we will be using every last sigil we have. But I will be saving some of them for tonight, just so we can show the bounty team, of course, for the nightly people. I'll throw it down. Also, I need to figure out what we're doing next Friday. There are so many games I want to play all coming out next Friday. I think it's like 3 or 4. Luckily, Darkest Dungeon 2 doesn't come out on Friday. I think it's coming out that Tuesday, which is really convenient because that makes it so much less annoying. Because otherwise it would have been like 5 games at once or something. I'm not sure which one we're actually going to do. I think we're going to do Age of Calamity, I think. Which technically isn't a new game, but it's getting its final last big DLC. But as far as new games, the Mario Party was coming out that day. Voice of Cards was coming out that day. And one other thing I think I forgot about is coming out that day. We'll probably be doing Age of Calamity DLC, though. And static storyline content. As well as other things. We don't know the full list. We'll find out when it happens. I'll take a brown for now. Get our explosions. Get a Takaraki down. See if we can get that corpse mirror rolling. Let's poke. I'll take the yellow. I'll kill that out. Hey, should we go try for him once? We already have the win condition. If we didn't have the win condition, I would have tried devouring him there. Eventually we'll get it. Why is every move so bad on this board? We're gonna do this and try for Sky Red. We actually got it well. I was very lucky. Well, you gotta try for them. You do eventually get them. Gotta know when it's worth like taking the risk for it. And there's a lot of instances where you can go for those little pokes and try for value. Finally! Okay, redeem code time. It may have taken it like 12 tries, but it's finally gotten a kill again. The second one. Yeah, you said you got like 4 or 5 devours the entirety of Bounty Hunter. That makes about sense. Because at our current rate, we're basically halfway there with 2 devours. As far as doing the main rewards. Not counting leaderboard. Because we're basically like 2,000 off of halfway point. And we've only seen 2 devours. So it makes sense we'd have 5 by the end. Anyways, let's go ahead and add a code. I said we'd do a next devour. And we got it. Again, let me go get you guys this code. Click save. We don't have another one tonight, of course, at our normal time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As we stream every night. I am looking for the code section. There it is. Put that there, click refresh, put that there, click paste, copy the whole thing, put this over here, and there goes go. There's a redeem code used on gemswar.com for the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever game says right over here is what you put in for your invite code. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Copy paste the random numbers in there starting with EQ. And give same word as always, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold on the usable and PC mobile version of the game. And definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream, helps out a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. There you guys go. Enjoy! So, next order of business, keep doing bounty. We're halfway there. Well, technically more than halfway there. It depends how you look at it. Well, I guess, I don't know. Because we're getting more points, but it also takes longer to do the battle. So yeah, I guess halfway point is actually the halfway point. Because even though we're getting the full amount of points now, the battles also take longer. So technically halfway in this event is actually halfway. Because even though you're getting more points, the battles also take longer compared to the earlier battles. Which were giving less points, but they were also quicker. Oh, why'd I do that before the other thing? Also, it wasn't even enough damage, fail. Oh, Gris, go kill it with explosions. Or skull works too. I gotta be careful though, I gotta make sure to obviously not give it the thing. I'll go take a purple over. Throw, pokety poke. I probably should have threw that into skull distraction, but I guess it didn't really matter. Are we first? Well, on leaderboard? No, not even close. We haven't tried for a leaderboard for ages in this game. Actually, so long ago. The last time I tried for a leaderboard, I'm pretty sure was when we made this guild. This guild is currently like 5 to 6 years old. It's been that long since we bothered going for a leaderboard. Though on the Switch account 2 years ago, we did end up making leaderboard like 3 times or something. First place. Let's see. How long has it been since we've tried for a leaderboard? It has been 1,925 days. It has almost been 2,000 days. Also, gosh, we've been playing this game too long. Let's see. Over 13,000 hours, and we've had this guild for 1,925 days. Gosh, that number's getting big. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Bounty Hunter. Yeah, we're getting close to that 2,000 mark. Actually, we'll hit it right around the end of the year, actually. Actually, a little bit after the year. Like, really early next year. The 2,000 day mark of the guild. First time in 6 months you got that 100 gem thing? Ooh, that's a bit unlucky. On average, you should see it about once a month, though RNG can say otherwise. But unless they tweak the rate, and from what I've seen, it's still about the same rate. It's 5% chance per day that you get a the 100 gem one instead of the 20 gem one. Assuming you clear it literally every day. Which I'm pretty sure most people do, because the normal one takes like barely any time to clear. If you're specifically trying to get it out of the way, it takes like, what, 5 minutes? 10 minutes? Not even. And normally just doing your standard dailies gets it done automatically. Without even need to go out of your way. I'm pretty sure we already completed it, right? Yeah, we already did it ages ago. Just from doing what bounty we already did. We haven't even touched our dailies yet, and just the bounty that we've done so far in under an hour has got it down. I'm pretty sure we got that ages ago. Not in your game. I don't know, based on the rates I've seen, it still seems like it drops at 5%. You can get really unlucky or lucky with it, though. We've had as many as like 4 or 5 days in a row where we got it. We've also gone a couple months without seeing it before. I'm not sure the absolute longest duration, but I'm pretty sure almost 3 months was probably one of our longest durations we went without it. Our most recent one was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is pretty much on par with drop rate. Which means realistically we'll probably see another one before mid-November. Or I will anyways, if we get perfect luck. Does he want to go for a 3rd Devourer? No. I think he's happy with his 2 Devourers. For something called the Devourer, it sure devours at a ridiculously bad rate. I'm not sure why they named it that. I guess they're starting to run out of names, maybe? For various spiders. I don't know, what would you name a spider? Spidey. I don't know, spiders are a weird kind of creature to think of a name for. Oh, hello, Bill Warhammer, welcome. But for something called the Devourer, it has such a horrifically bad Devourer rate. In theory, it can have as a troop called the Devourer, it can have as low as a 4% Devour chance. That's how ridiculously bad its name is. We should buff its name to something else. That or buff its actual mechanic to fit its name. One or the other. Or I should say, they need to either nerf the name or buff the mechanic. It doesn't deserve the title of Devourer with a 4% Devourer rate, potentially. Let's see, I'll take that over. Although realistically, it's like a 30, 40-ish% Devourer rate in most situations. And whenever it misses, it's a 0% Devourer rate. I have another Val Raven. Speaking of luck. I'll take that over. Give Feral Hound a go. Feral Hounds actually used to be meta back in the day. It's not used as much these days just because of its inconsistency. But yeah, crates I believe 8 red, 8 purple, and barriers a random ally. But yeah, it's really good. It used to be used a lot when the Yagwe meta was a thing. Because back in the day, it wasn't really viable to bother running 4 bounty troops. You would run 3 bounty troops with another troop, which was normally Yagwe, and it had really good synergy with Yagwe. But the biggest issue with Feral Hound is its synergy isn't as good in pure bounty. Like, if you were using one thing that wasn't a bounty troop, it has so many good synergies. It's actually one of the better things. But in the context of what exists within bounty, it doesn't have too much of a synergy, which is kind of unfortunate. But no, Feral Hound is pretty good. I can see it eventually becoming meta again, depending on what future bounty troops we get. I almost said future Takaraki troops. But that's one of its other problems too. Like, it does synergize with Takaraki, though compared to some of the new mana accumulators we've been getting, like the turtle for converting to brown and Ogress, I don't know, it just doesn't really do enough compared to other options now. And obviously barrier isn't really necessary in most situations. At least in endgame, you have so many stats that you're generally not dying in Bounty Hunter. Earlier on in the game, it could matter a lot more though, since barrier is actually a factor. But we're basically never... We'll be surprised if we even see Ogress go down, and even if it does, it transforms into a tank. A tank that's going to block our Takaraki, but still a tank nonetheless. Yeah, later in the game, Bounty Hunter is generally one of those events that you shouldn't hopefully incur any losses on. It's definitely possible if things go super crazy. But this particular bounties has some pretty tame troops. Sometimes they do have some pretty offensive ones. Like, I know one week, for whatever reason, we had 2 Glaceons. And that was a very vicious week that actually you could actually, like, legit die in because of how much damage Glaceon does. But most bounty weeks, the final battle is normally pretty tame. There are exceptions to it, though. It's definitely one of those events that's more so based on time of just completing it, more so than anything. Please devour again. Still, only 2 devourers. I'll be very surprised if we see it go to 3. What do we need here? Grab Takaraki onto you. Take a little bit of mana. Actually, I should probably throw a Takaraki on first slot first. Because now we get a bit less ratio now that we just took away some of its armor. Not a lot of armor, but luckily not so much that it didn't. It still ended up dying, so that's good. We'll do that mostly just for the explosion. Unfortunately, we hit a skull, which we actually didn't want to do. I wanted the mana. I did not want that skull randomly to hit the... oh good. We just randomly died to another skull. Okay, so that one skull poke actually did help then. You know what didn't help though? This thing's 0% devour rate. Gosh, is that thing so bad. It's eventually going to be really meta for Bounty Hunter once we get like proper skull spam options that synergize well together with a mana accumulator that works with it. But outside that context, gosh, is that thing bad. Because we're not using one of its main mechanics that it has as well. It has the capability of doing double damage to almost everything in the game. Because similar to Web Spinner doing triple damage to everything, it has the exact same mechanic for double damage. Having the Sneer double damage mechanic. It's basically a Web Spinner with only 2 times instead of 3 times. Which makes it the highest skull damage bounty troop in the game. It doesn't have any attack gain though. Oh, actually, that's not true. It can get devoured. It has to get devoured, though. It does technically have an attack gain. The problem is that attack gain is completely RNG based, so it's not consistent. It would have extra attack if we could actually ever devour, and there it goes, finally, 3 devours. Which means, yeah, by the time we finish up Bounty Hunter, I'm pretty sure it would have totaled 5. And by finish, I mean getting to 250,000. Not all of our sigils. We will be doing over sigils. But, main goal is hit 250,000. We're probably going to be throwing a little bit further than that this stream, though. I do have to make sure to save at least some for tonight, though. So we can just re-mention a bounty team later. You really wish you could get someone to do your bounty as you really want to farm up those Nook miles for the update. Oh yeah, for Animal Crossing? How many miles do you have right now? I haven't been grinding too much. We might do another stream for it at some point soon. Probably before Darkest Dungeon comes out. You know what? That might be what we stream this weekend. I want to do Smash, because Smash finally got its final update ever. Unless they're going to do like a mini patch. But it finally got Sora as the final character added to Smash Ultimate. Which I have no clue how on earth they got the rights to do from Disney, but they managed it somehow. Because it literally even has the Mickey Mouse logo on it and everything. It's kind of funny. But we'll do that on one of the days this weekend, and the other day we'll probably do Animal Crossing. I'm not sure which one we'll do which, but maybe Saturday Animal Crossing, then Sunday Smash, we'll see. But yeah, we'll probably do that this weekend. Because Monday is going to be probably nothing, midday. Tuesday is going to be Darkest Dungeon. Wednesday is going to be Darkest Dungeon. Thursday, probably going to be Darkest Dungeon or something else. And then Friday, we're doing Gems of War and then a billion other games that weekend. And then once we do all those games that week of that are coming out that Friday, we're then going to have the Animal Crossing DLC on the 5th. Also, I'm still not sure what we're doing for my birthday yet on that day. We might be streaming, because I currently don't have any plans, but that could change. But at this current moment in time, I have no plans for my birthday. So I might just be doing a stream. A variety stream of a lot of different games. I haven't done a variety stream for a very long time. That reminds me, Halloween is somewhere in that mix too. What day is Halloween? Halloween is next week Sunday. Not this week Sunday, but next week Sunday. Interesting. So that's the weekend after a billion games come out. Out of all the games coming out that day, what's the best one for doing for Halloween? I'm trying to think. I don't know, what do you guys think is a good Halloween game that's coming out soon? That isn't like a super like horror-based one, just like a kind of Halloween-themed game to any degree. Like, what do I do one for Halloween? I was trying to think of what games coming out soon that would kind of fit that. I can't really think of any. Or at least none that have been interesting me. Please devour. Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, honestly, Darkest Dungeon would probably be the best thing to do for Halloween, realistically. I'm not sure how much content the beta is going to have. Like, we might get into it, play it for like 10 hours and find out like, oh yeah, we kind of did literally everything that could physically be done in the current state of the beta. So I'm still not sure exactly what kind of state it'll be in. Because I believe it's only releasing the beta with one act of like 5. Because they're setting up like an act system, kind of like how Slay the Spire is, except different. And in doing so, they're only releasing the beta with Act 1 as they're developing the other 4 acts. So it's still going to have like all the units you would normally see in Act 1 and, you know, all the standard gameplay mechanics. Probably most of the characters that they're going to be adding. But it just doesn't have the rest of the content. It'd almost be like if Darkest Dungeon released with only one of the 5 dungeons. Because it has 4 different areas plus the Darkest Dungeon. It'd almost be like if you only had the Crypt. Which would still be fun, but you know, it'd have a bit less replay value there. But you're right, Darkest Dungeon probably would make a lot of sense on Halloween. If people haven't already gotten tired of us streaming it by then. Because I'm pretty sure we would have done at least 2 to 3 streams of it prior. You just realize you're on your alt account. Yeah, I used to play alt accounts a lot. I eventually stopped though. Because I eventually got to the point where it's like, I might as well just be doing this on my main account, grinding things out. Especially when they added like medals and stuff like that. It's like, I might as well just be grinding medals on my main account. Yeah, I used to do alt accounts a lot. The last one we ever did was the Switch version a little over 2 years ago. And then we kind of gave up on alt accounts. But way back in the day, we used to do it a lot. These days, we obviously haven't been. We might eventually do it for Puzzle Quest 3, though. I'm still kind of contemplating on if we're going to make a brand new account for when Puzzle Quest 3 launches. Obviously, we'd be covering most content with our main account. But I was still kind of considering maybe doing it. I was almost considering doing it a little bit after it launches, though. Because it won't be as special if we make a new account when literally everyone's making a new account. But if we kind of do it like a couple months after the fact, when some people might just be finding the game for the first time, who didn't find out about it at launch, that would probably make a bit more sense. Because by the time we covered our first ever new account for Gems of War, because we didn't cover content when the game first came out, we did it a little after the fact, but it was like 2 years into the game's development. So doing it like half a year to a year after Puzzle Quest 3 comes out would probably be a good time if we are going to start a fresh account for it. Probably whenever the 2.0 update hits. Oh, first we need to get to 1.0. The Let's Play series? Yeah, we did a new player account Let's Play series. It was actually a lot of fun. We haven't done a Let's Play series for a game for ages. I feel like that kind of genre has kind of died off. Like, unless you're like a mega channel, it's almost like unrealistic to do a Let's Play series in YouTube's current state. However, if there's one thing we might do a Let's Play for, it'd be the entire storyline of Puzzle Quest 3. I can see us doing that in the near future. It's just other games, we might as well just stream it when they launch. There's just very few games that really fit the Let's Play style, I feel. Because the game has to have, like, heavy storyline to really fit a Let's Play style. Like a ridiculously high amount of storyline. Because if it's just gameplay every single time, you might as well just be streaming it. Hey, actually devoured. 4 devours. I'm keeping track. Let's see. I'll take that over. And I don't generally play too many really heavy storyline-based games, for the most part. I'm in it for the gameplay and the in-game economy, but mostly the gameplay. Let's see if I throw that down. Oh, what do we want here? We'll try for a green and try for something off the sky. We missed. Also, I just realized our first unit died twice. What are you doing dying twice? Devour? Please? Eventually? In the entirety of completing out Bounty Hunter, we hit 4 Devours. Maybe 5 if we get one within the next, like, what, 6 battles? 7 battles? So the 4 to 5 mentioned earlier seems about right. What's the team? It's Ogress, Tigraki, Corpse Mirror, and the new troop. It's literally the standard thing we run for every bounty for the last, like, half a year. With the only difference being the bounty captain, of course, in the last slot. You just trade out the bounty captain. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this entire year, actually, all of 2021, we've been using this team for the most part. I'm not sure if I've changed it all year because we haven't needed to. The meta hasn't really shifted. Bounty Hunter meta generally shifts very slowly because you only get 1 new troop every 6 weeks, and not every single one that gets added is meta. This one technically will be if skulls ever become good, but we need more options before it will be good, which means it's not good now. Which doesn't help us for the now. It will help us eventually, though. There's eventually going to be some kind of really broken build that uses that troop. Now is not that time, though. Thank you. 5 Devourers. Nice. We might actually reach 6. That is way above my expectations I had for it. What do we even take care? Throw that down. Which gives us a Zhul'Kari to go kill him with. Which gives us an Ogress to go get everything back up. Which gives us the win condition. Also, I literally just spam click mirror. You might be noticing I'm kind of just doing that where it's all the way at the bottom row. The main reason for that is just to cast it quicker. There are a lot of instances where you don't actually have to use it in a specific location, even though you can use it for board control and mana accumulation. Oh, 6 Devourers, nice. It's mostly just to get the ability down quicker. Just because you can target it doesn't mean you should target it. Pretend it's a random row that always hits bottom row. We're literally just a mechanic that only hits bottom row. Because many times it's way quicker doing it that way than bothering to figure out where's optimal when you're playing at this speed. That's one of the big issues with a lot of troops within this game, where it's the only slight issue about really high speed is it changes how you play some things, because speed is so quick that there's a lot of board control options. They're just so complex to use, though that one's one of the more basic ones, but there are some that are so complex to use that it's sometimes not even worth trying to figure out where to use them due to how much time it takes to do it. One of the big examples of that is probably the X-shaped destroys, like off a Dragonian Monk. Like, the amount of power you can get from that's insanely good, but it requires so much checking of the board. Some other ones that are like that are the 5x5 destroys, those big explosion things, as well as those weird 5x5s without the corner. Those are even more annoying to figure out. Which is basically Doomskull explosion shape, or Uber Doomskull, I should say. The two easiest ones are Destroy Column, Destroy Row, and especially Destroy Row. Destroy Row is even probably easier than Destroy Column. But Destroy Row, Destroy Column, and 3x3 are probably the 3 easiest to figure out. But there's still quite a few other complicated ones. Like Row and Column simultaneously, X shape, 5x5, 5x5 without corner, and a few others. Let's see what to get over. Why did I do that? Whoops. Should have done the other one. It's not too big a deal though. Alright, 6 Devourers total. I think that's going to be our total, unless we can get to lucky 7s. 1 HP, what are you doing? I was expecting that to kill. Do you have boost ratio? No, I should have destroyed a skull. Fail. I didn't think it would be short, but if I would have destroyed even one more skull with it, or even a skull, it would have killed him. I actually forgot that thing even has skull boost ratio. I always kind of hit skulls because, you know, to explode them, especially if they're Doom Skull. But I kind of forgot it actually specifically has boost ratio towards skulls. It's not much, and very rarely would it make a difference. However, in that particular instance, it would have made a difference. Please, let me cast. There we go. That was weird. Don't let me click for a moment there. Even though I was spam clicking it. Too many inputs, game doesn't understand. We've confused the game by clicking too much. How on earth did that not kill, gosh? Another instance of 1 HP short, and of course it still does not want to devour. Even with like a 30-something% chance. 1 and 3. Let's see, we've cast it 3 times this match, and it still has not devoured. I should hit a skull again, no! I was trying to do it like 1 higher, and it's like, oh, we're probably not going to need it. And then once again, we're exactly 1 damage short. Well, 2 more battles, and we're done with, not leaderboard, but all rewards, so we'll go claim them then. I'll throw a few more battles then. Apparently even more than a few. Just got a Vow Raven. An extra few on top of that few. Hey, if anyone still has any other questions you do want me to go over, do let me know. Yeah, we're starting to get a lot quicker at completing out Bounty Hunter. That means this Bounty Hunter took us only a little over an hour. Technically an hour if you negate out all the talking we were doing. Took us pretty much like an hour on the dot. Oh, nice. 7 Devours. Lucky 7s. He got 7 Devours on his way to full completion of Bounty Hunter. Not counting leaderboard, which we will be going for as well. Alright, one more and then we'll go claim all the loot. See what we get. Also, if we get a power, I'll hand out a super shiny code. We still have a couple of those. I don't plan on handing out the next one until Halloween, but we'll hand out one right now if we happen to get a power from one of these 2 majors. If and only if. Otherwise, next one's probably on Halloween. Wow, 8 Devours, nice. Right, he got 8 Devours on his way to full completion. Which is way more than I was expecting him to ever do. Well, it kind of makes sense. It is technically like a 30-something% Devour rate. So realistically, it's going to be getting at least some amount, even though it's going to miss a lot of battles. Alright, let's see what we get. So for completing out Bounty Hunter, which costs you 710 gems plus a blue orb or 1,110 gems, we get the following rewards. We get a new portrait, a new title, 2 vault keys, which is basically like 0 these days, 110 of your gems back, meaning theoretically it costs us 1,000 gems on the dot, 17 gem keys, 45 diamonds. Oh, also if you need a little bit of diamonds for that, Arachnian Weaver, there you go. It's not a lot, but it's more than none. Some souls, 175,000 gold, a little mix of trait stones, 10 arcanes. Obviously, the main loot being 2 major orbs. That's like the whole reason you do this. 4 minor orbs, 4 celestials, and I already mentioned the other 2 things. Alright, let's see what we get. Come on, blues and purples. How worth it was it? Not worth it. Not worth it. Slightly getting there. Now here's where the value truly lies. What is it? Ooh, major blue! It was worth it. Worth it. 1 single major blue is already worth the cost. I'll take it. Unfortunately, no powers. But you can't complain about major blue. There we go. So we got a small purple and a major blue. That's already way more than enough of value. Ah, there we go. It has been completed. And also, technically, we get a max troop while doing it as well as a few more bounty captains or copies of some of the other troops, so it's not too relevant. Let's get some souls and like emoji thing. Oh yeah, there's some diamonds there too. If you're a little short on diamonds. There's actually 35 diamonds there. I didn't even realize there was that up in the first 4 tiers. It's not a lot of diamonds, but they add up. Slowly over time, they add up to be numbers like this. If you don't use them long enough. But yeah, it's still around for at least another week. We don't know exactly when it's ending, but all of next week you should be able to get a Arachnian Weaver as well. Though if you have the diamonds for it, still try getting it this week, well, just in case. But next week should also have it, but just in case if you have the diamonds, you'll get it this week. Anyways, so yeah, that's Bounty. Or at least as far as the main rewards from Bounty. Of course, there is still the leaderboard. And since we did buy tier 6, we actually can do a leaderboard. It'll be a multi-way tie, likely with exactly 279,000 points. So, yeah, let's keep going then. We're not going to do all of them now because I do want to save some amount of sigils for tonight in order to show the team again later tonight. We'll do some of them now. Try this double weaver. Sure, we can go try double weaver team. I don't see why not. I might even cover a video on Weaver while it's in the Soul Forge. I'll probably cover it next week since it's still going to be there. Weaver's a pretty interesting troop. Oh, I should have taken purple there. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Last time you bought up to tier 6 and didn't get leaderboard? Really? I didn't bother trying going for leaderboard last time. Oh, it might be how Valraven luck falls. If a lot of people go for it and hit positive Valraven luck, and you get bad Valraven luck, I think it is possible to not get enough points. So that could potentially happen this week as well. I think we're currently set on good Valraven luck based on leaderboard though. Because if all we have to do is beat 279,000... We're easily going to be able to do that with where we're currently sitting. Though I think 279,000 might be tier 5. I don't think enough people have done their battles yet, because I think 363,000 is actually tier 6, I think. Based on how many people are multi-way tied here. So is there a Valraven luck below this then? What is, math? How much is it again? It's 6,000, 12,000. What's 12,000 less points than this number? 12,000 less points than this number is 363,000. Which means this is bad Valraven luck. Is everyone at 363? And good Valraven luck is everyone at, what, 375? I can't quite tell. This leaderboard's kind of weird. It's easier to tell later on once more people are on leaderboard. Can't quite tell yet. Anyways, let me go see what that one team is. Let's see. What team do I not need? Get rid of this. Book. Oh yeah. This seems like it would work. We'll go mess with it real quick. This is basically the build I was mentioning earlier too. Not sure about Monk though. Let's see. I didn't even double check to see if it had all of its traits. I should probably go reset my Monk traits. Where's the team I literally just set? Let's see. Monk. Fortitude, extra brown. Wait, why extra brown with this team? You already have the banner set to brown. Green. Barrier on brown. I guess Fairy Fire, because I don't think the other thing even does anything on this team. Extra armor. Just because it has more upfront value. Cleanse, obviously. And Snap Freeze. So it is occasionally worth it to go Impact. Freeze is normally the way to go on Monk. I guess the extra brown was mostly for, I forgot, because the extra mana you're getting on there. Oh no, I kind of want green though for Weaver. Since so many things need green. Because doesn't it create green as well? It creates, yeah, green-purple. This team should work. We want to kill out first slot with Book and then last slot with Weaver. They got entangled. Luckily, we have Cleanse, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. We also have extra turn, extra mana, which is kind of convenient. I'll take that for now. Okay, I need a second Weaver, like, right now. I'm gonna take this first, though. So we're gonna do the poke there. Hopefully not miss. Good. Then we Weaver. Then we Weaver again. And then we Book. And then we kill it, ideally. And then we double Weaver again. Are they in kill range? Yes, they are. Especially with Fairy Fire. Also, if you're wondering why we said Fairy Fire, that is why we said Fairy Fire. And then we win. Yeah, it does normal Weaver things. It does what you would expect Weaver to do. It does Weaver. Good old Weaver. Ah, there we go. It's nice having double summon. It's something I haven't really gotten to mess around with yet, since I actually just got double Weaver this Monday. And I haven't tested too many teams with double Weaver specifically yet. So that is kind of the basic premise that you'd have to do. Is, like, there's almost no other double Weaver team in existence. It's just run Hero Weapon, double Weaver, King Averlon. There's almost no deviation to that you could possibly even do. Just because, there's just, like, no other way you could do it. Like I guess you could not use Hero, but, I don't know. There's just really no other way you could really do it, because you have to have 50% mana start. If you're using double Weaver, kind of like double Tina 9000, you have to use the half mana start that goes with it. That's kind of the whole point in doing it in the first place. The brown-red was because of the book. The book was really important to get up. That's, I'm pretty sure, the reasoning behind the brown-red banner. Otherwise, you would go all in on green. But the brown-red banner was mostly to make sure book goes up quicker. The other alternative would be to go something like a +2 green, +2 red, if I'm not mistaken. Even though that minus is purple. It'd probably be your, like, next best banner. Just because the sheer amount of pluses on it is, where is that banner? That banner right there. And then we can actually change our hero class to, or back to brown if we want to. Or just really go all in on green. What is this crate again? Purple and green. Yeah, I'd rather have the extra green. Yeah, something like that. X Weaver. We'll keep it saved because I am probably covering a video on Weaver next week. Most of them are going to be single Weaver teams, not double Weaver though. We'll have like 1 or 2 double Weavers maybe. There's just not too many things you could do with double Weaver. Like the premise is something, double Weaver, King Avalon. There's like nothing else other than that. Literally the only flexible unit on it is what do you use aside from double Weaver, King Avalon. Because that's, you can't not go King Avalon with double Weaver. So that only leaves 1 single troop to mess around with when you're mixing up a team. So there's only so much variation you could end up doing with it ultimately. Let's see, let's go back to bounty. At least for a few more battles. Not all of them, but get a bit more in there. Get closer on leaderboard. How far are you going this stream? I have no clue. Probably not too much further. So if anyone still has any other questions that you want me to go over, do let me know. Though we will be continuing tonight, of course. And tonight we'll be going down to 0 sigils, so whatever we don't do now, we're doing tonight. And I want to save at least some amount so we can show the bounty properly tonight. For anyone that wants to know, who doesn't catch his morning stream. I should have taken that red first, whoops. That was with an invisible sight as well. Like sometimes something cascades and it's completely beyond your control, but at other times you just don't notice it. Which is a factor. You use it for factions sometimes. It definitely has a good backup mechanic. Like you have infinite web spinners pretty much to keep re-summoning, especially with double. Because even though it's not guaranteed, the chance that you're going to summon a web spinner off of 275% chances is exceedingly high. While still possible that it doesn't. It's such an absurdly high chance that it will. It's something like, what, an 80-something% chance that you would end up getting a summon? I mean, like, only about 1 in 10 times it would actually fail with double Weaver. And while it still can, it's exceedingly high chance that it won't. What are you doing, agiling? Yeah, doing it for a faction Tuesday could be pretty good. Because Weaver's actually really good at that low kill range. At the very low kill range, Weaver one-shots. And at the entirety of the low range, he will two-shot, or she will, I mean. So, yeah, I don't think it stops two-shotting until around, like, 120 or something? Or somewhere around there. Like, it double shots really deep. I used to actually run double Tina 9000 in low-level Warrens as well. Because it kind of did that for the, that kind of low-level range. But double Weaver kind of works out a little bit nicer just because it gets its mana back. Though if you can kill in 2 casts, doesn't matter as much. Because Tina 9000 also just wipes the entire team in 2 casts. So getting mana back doesn't necessarily matter. Because they're already dead. Also, I don't feel like I ever use teams with both of them together, even though they're actually pretty good together. The biggest issue with it is the inconsistency of Tina 9000. Because sometimes they'll overkill a unit and then you can't Weaver. Or will just barely not do enough to one of the units, so it's out of sight of Weaver range. It's a really luck-based synergy with it. Like, while they do synergize together, it's not guaranteed that every cast will work perfectly together with them. Which is probably the biggest issue with using them both together. The other issue is they cannot have mana start together. You'd either have to do both of them off of 20%, most likely, and just not have a 50% mana start on your team. Because if you do go for a 50% mana start, you can't do both. You have to go for one or the other. It's one of the reasons why double Weaver or double Tina 9000 is normally used instead. Because even though they technically have synergy with each other, you might as well just double up on one of them rather than using one of both. It's one of the few situations where running one, or 2 separate units instead of double the same is actually better. Just because of how half mana start works, since it works on every individual troop of the typing. Hey, you got another Devourer. You got 7 up to completion, and then a little extra one for us. Yeah, we only got 7 devours all the way up to the entirety of Bounty Hunter, which is more than I was expecting. Expecting closer to 5. Though that wasn't that much higher, was it? But hey, it's still higher nonetheless. But there we go, we made it to leaderboard. Yay! And obviously we still have more sigils left, which should secure us a top 100 location, which will return us 75 to gems we spent and an orb. We don't know what orb, but a orb nonetheless. And all we have to do is just make sure we do daily bounties tomorrow and Sunday, as well as finishing the ones we already have, of course. Hey, does anyone else have any other questions? Let me know. Because I think after this one battle, we'll call it a wrap for now then. Go grab some lunch. Oh, let's see. I'll take that over. I have no clue what I'm eating for lunch. Probably just gonna make an egg salad sandwich or something. I don't feel like hitting him. Let him do his cast. None of our abilities on our team currently is boost ratio based on our stats. Because normally if you're using like Rowan or something similar, you want to make sure they don't hit you, or like a Catcher's the Bull. But in a team like this, it really doesn't matter. As long as they don't kill us, we're perfectly fine to just keep going. And there we go. And then we'll have like 12 battles to do tonight then. Or somewhere around there, depends how Val Ravens fall. And then that shall secure us leaderboard. But anyways, guys, we will be back soon though. 6.5 hours from now for our normal 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time stream, as we do every single night. That we'll probably be doing for about the same amount of duration. We're mostly going to be finishing out Bounty Hunter, doing more of that. Obviously doing Guild War today. We got Blue Guild War Day. And I think we finished Tower of Doom, right? Yeah. So it's mostly just going to be Guild Wars and then finishing up Bounty Hunter. Mostly just to go over Bounty Hunter again for anyone who didn't see this earlier stream. And go from there. But yeah, we already finished this, unless we want to go. Unless we're within striking distance of a next tier, which I don't think we move up until 20. That's quite of a gap. We're like a 200 away from 20 or so. And so like how little the loot difference is. It's 25 gems and 2 dooms. The 2 dooms is basically 0 loot. And then the 25 gems is just 1 single tribute these days. The leaderboard for this thing is so bad. Even if you make first place, that's kind of just eh. Like 500 gems is not a small amount of gems, but the amount of gems you have to spend to get that 500 gems is way more than 500 gems. Like way, way more. But anyways, guys, actually, we literally already spent 500 gems just to get the Doom weapon. And you'd have to go like multiple times more than that. But anyways, guys, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Best of luck with the bounty event. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. And thanks for watching.